All right. Well, that wasn't very fun. You only get so many chances. There's not an infinite amount of chances to do the right thing. And at some point, you run out of chances. And tonight, I think we ran out of chances. And then you need to make a miracle happen towards the end of the game. But I was a little shell-shocked at some of our decisions. And I'll take some responsibility in that. Communication things maybe weren't communicated in a manner where during that time and the score and the late game and all that we could process what we were trying to convey in the actions that we were trying to make happen while we were out there. But, it's just disappointing that you have a game that's still there to be won. Didn't play great. Did a good job, defensively in the first half. But I thought this was a game of a lot of situations that we just did not handle well.
Lamont, you mentioned some of those decisions. It seemed like on offense there was a lot of dribbling, 4 post up. There's kind of a lot of standing around. What did LSU do defensively to affect that, or was it, as you said, a lack of communication?
No, I don't think that had as much to do with it. It wasn't as much on the offensive end. It wasn't great offense by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know how many possessions there were in the game. I know we were right at 1 point per possession in the first half. But there was some of that. I think we were really trying to get the ball inside at one point or another. We weren't lighting up the world from 3 at the time. But these decisions were really more defensive decisions. Now, at the end of the first half, that was an offensive decision that cost us 2 points, right? We went early, turned over, and we're up 9. So instead of going up 9, they get the ball, and they drive all the way down from one end to the next in 6 seconds for a layup. So it's hard to say that you want to win the game badly when that happens. It's hard to say that in a believable manner. Michi. He asked about Michi. I haven't heard anything. They're checking him. He got hit in the head, so they're checking him to see if it'll end up being concussion protocol or whatever it'll end up being.
Possession before the tie-up in the corner, it looked like you were calling for a foul. You were out on the center circle after the LSU called the timeout. Was that what was kind of going on there? And were you calling for a foul in that situation?
Yes, I was calling for a foul, and just to be honest with you, we had talked about fouling. We had talked multiple times coming down the stretch that it just was that kind of game. Both teams had fouls to give, which was a little strange, but we had fouls to give, and we talked. We talked about what we wanted to do. We had 2 possessions, actually. We had 2 possessions that we had specifically, one right after a timeout, talked about that we would foul and what that would look like and when to do it and how to do it. And it just, again, that's the responsibility that I'll take in this whole thing, is that somewhere it was lost in translation, somewhere between the huddle and then the floor. And even from my gesturing to foul to it actually happening. So we'll have to get back to the drawing board on that. But that was one of the situations that I'm talking about, and just some of our decisions. But there were certainly some defensive ones even before that.
It's the team's first time dealing with back-to-back losses. Just how important is it going to be for them to quickly learn the lesson from this adversity with so little season left?
Incredibly important. You got to learn fast. There's lessons to be taught, and from winning and from losing. And so the only real travesty about this game will be that if you don't learn some things from it. And so there'll be some learning for sure, but I think it's more about doing also. I think we need to do better. I think we need to do a better job in terms of execution.
Phil in the front left.
Just for clarity, Michi, last possession, he wasn't able to go. He was because of the hit to the head, he was
Yeah.
out.
Yes. That's part of the protocol, is to err on the side of caution.
Elijah in the front.
Coach McMahon in here earlier said that later in the second half, they kind of went into some actions that they thought went really well in terms of getting them downhill and into the paint, to the rim. Where did you guys struggle defensively to be able to keep them from going downhill and being able to get those shots
Yeah.
from 5 to 10 feet?
Yeah. You know, some of it was boiled down a couple times to a little toughness. The action that they had, you know, people call it zoom. They were running zoom action, and guys were going from a handoff and got downhill. And a couple times we challenged the shot at the rim, which is what we're supposed to do in that scenario, and then the big that was rolling got the rebound. And so I think we were in the vicinity to get that rebound, but we needed to be tougher in order to get that rebound. And we didn't. And that at least 2 times that happened. And then because of that, there was a third time. So now you imagine this player that I spoke about that challenged the shot at the rim. Now all he sees in his mind is that the last 2 possessions, his man, he challenged the shot, and his man got the rebound and stuck it back. So then on the next one, he's gun shy to go challenge a shot, so the guy goes straight downhill for a layup. And so that's, you want to talk about learning, that's a lesson for us. Because that guy needs to rely on the second part of the plan happening. He needs to. Otherwise, it will shake his faith in the first part of the plan. And then now you're just guessing. And you don't want to be out there in a situation where you're doing that. There were probably 3 or 4 baskets that they generated from that action.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.